You see, the thing is, we will always be kids. We just grow out of our pants. You know how they say, if you don't use it, you lose it? Well, that's true. And it's really interesting how some of the first things that we learned, we are not so good at right now. You see, there's so many things that in the beginning we were really good at, but we need a reminder every now and then. Hours pass, days go by, and somehow years tend to dive into our pockets. Objects get shinier, puzzles get harder, and somehow the road gets longer for the magic school bus.
Please let this be a normal field trip with a friend? No way!
Cruising on down Main Street, you're relaxed and feeling good.
In other words, here's 10 things I learned as a baby, and you did too. Number 1, listening. I feel like we were naturally gifted with the ability to listen, we just fall out of practice. When we're babies, we're in the womb and we're either listening to music or our parents' voices. And the thing is that instinctively, we can be amazing listeners. At least for myself, it's not that I didn't want to be a good listener, it's the fact that I always itched to jump into conversation and always was telling people about my hopes, my aspirations, my dreams, the things that I wanted to accomplish, and I failed to listen properly when other people spoke to me. It would go in one ear and out the other. I always found myself reaching for the next sentence. That is until a few years ago when I met my college roommate. His name's Sawyer, and he probably has to be one of the best listeners that I think I've ever met. He absorbs conversation like voltage to a battery. He reminded me that the more you talk, the less your words have value. And so the more you listen, the more value you give to your words. Again, we've been good at it, we just need to pay attention. There's no doubt it's one of the first skills we picked up, but one of the first skills got rusty. As babies, it's what we did. The world was an ocean and we soaked it all in. From stories to knowledge to advice, listening is an invaluable skill. It allows you to let people feel heard and then also brings us deeper understanding. Number 2, the thing is that we cannot at some point even recognize or distinguish a shape from a face. So our minds must have roamed, dancing in the wind. Then at around maybe 2 to 8 weeks, everything changed. Our depth of field grew and we were able to learn how to focus our vision. We have the ability to focus on anything that we choose, to connect our aspirations and our thoughts. Personally, for me, it's always been a little hard to focus on things just because it takes a lot of commitment, determination, it takes a lot of planning. And I myself have never really been the best planner. All these characteristics are things that I've never really been amazing at, but the thing is that I continually discipline myself, hence getting better. So at some point I decided to be bad at most things and focus on working to be great at a select few. For me, the first dose of real focus that I experienced was back when I was in high school. For 4 years, all I could think of is how can I get out of my little town that I was in? And fast forward to my senior year, I had to come up with a plan. The plan was to save $5,000, enough to purchase a new vehicle right before I left for college. And the thing is that I only had 2.5 months to do it. Long story short, this company came to Mississippi, a company out of California, and I was waiting tables. They came in and they just so happened to ask for workers. So luckily they were paying $12 an hour. I was like, this is my shot, let's go. The next day I went and I purchased steel-toed boots. I got my little hat and I was waking up every morning at 5 o'clock to go to work on demolition. For the rest of the summer, I worked that job for about a month and a half, made enough through that job and also roofing and then working at the restaurant a little bit, enough to make $5,000, and I purchased my first real car for $4,500, a steal. If you pay attention, you'll realize that everything is putting you on the path to work towards your talents. And I don't know about you, but myself, I've always felt the most rewarded when I work towards mine. And that's why ever since I can remember, I've been focused on finding a way to do more of what I love to do. Number 3, reaching out. My mom used to tell me that I loved being carried around. I specifically remember a time when I was a baby where we were at this baile, which is like a baile is like a dance. We were at a dance and my cousin had me picked up, and the moment she would put me down, I'd reach my hands out as far as I could and ask to be picked right back up. There's a lesson here in that when we were younger, we we're not scared to ask for help. We're always reaching out. And the thing is, now that we're older, sometimes our pride gets the best of us. Timidness or some kind of sense of feeling like we're not prepared to do so. Thinking back, some of the best connects I've made to date was simply just out of reaching out. It's not that hard, just stretch your arms. Number 4, walking step by step. When we were babies, it all started so simple. Left, right, one foot, then the other. We somehow understood that it would take time and had this unwithering belief that we would someday be able to balance. Don't know where it came from, but we knew that one day we could do it. So then why is it that we can't understand that now? People overestimate what they can do in 1 year and then underestimate what they can do in 10. This has so much truth to it because everything we want to do is a process, and we have to have the patience to understand that. As babies, we knew that, and again, we have to remind ourselves that one day we will be able to walk. Patience is a skill that we must be eager to possess. Just like walking, one day we'll be able to do the things we've set our mind to. It just takes time, and we have to believe that we'll get there. 5. For number 5, we have saying sorry and admitting when we're wrong. I feel like when we were younger, we would get in trouble and our parents would tell us, hey, you have to go say sorry. You know, without thinking twice, we would go do it because it just made sense. If we did something wrong or if we were incorrect, we would say so. As we get a little bit older, our reasoning kind of changes, and we need to get back to a place where we can easily admit when we are wrong. I feel like it's a very healthy thing to do, and it's something that I try to practice as often as I can. It's really been one of the best things that I've put into practice, and I know sometimes it stinks admitting that you're wrong, but we definitely need to do it, and we'll live a healthier life when and if we do so. Number 6, the curiosity. No guns, guys, no guns. We're not pro guns. These guns, boom, boom. Number 6, curiosity. I feel like when I was a baby, I was always running around in a diaper trying to figure something out. Either touching something hot, realizing that it was, and I probably shouldn't do it again, or trying to peek on top of the refrigerator like there was some kind of gold there. It seemed like everywhere I turned, there was a new texture, a new flavor, something to be discovered. I feel like now we need to carry that same mentality and discover as much as we can. It was really great to discover something new. I feel like technology has really done something to limit our ability to discover, but within ourselves, I feel like there's so much that we will always be working towards discovering. So channeling into that same curiosity that we had in the beginning, I feel like is something amazing that we should be doing. Some of the best ideas came from people and their curiosity. Number 7. Number 7 is smiling. When you're a baby, you do it instinctively. You smile and it seems like the world just lights up. If you've ever been driving down the road or sitting in a waiting area and smiled at somebody, you'll know that it has such a strong effect. You could make somebody's day, you never know what they're going through. So smiling is a powerful tool that we carry in our repertoire. Smiling is something that we used to do as babies all the time. We did it instinctively, and we did it with so much energy, it seemed like the light just filled up in the room. I found that when I exercise my smiles, it makes me feel really warm inside. I'll go for a run and shoot a smile and a wave at people, and it's always received so well. Number 8, speaking. I feel like when we started speaking, we didn't think twice about it. No one could understand what we were saying. We had the goo goo gagas, we had the ba 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 ba. Regardless of what it was, or however we tried to get our point across, we were very persistent. It was a persistence that came naturally because we wanted to be understood. There are many things in life that are going to be won simply by the fact that somebody chose to show up every single day. Number 9 is creativity. I remember back when I used to play with sticks and push my little brother in this cardboard box that we cut a hole in, and I tied my belt to it, and I would pull him and we would pretend that it was a car. And it was really cool because, I mean, it was creativity. You know, as a kid, you don't doubt anything is possible. From building forts to traveling to a different world in your backyard. It's the kind of creativity that I feel like sometimes as you get older, you don't allow yourself to express or to feel. And that shouldn't be the case. We should always aim to be as creative as we can. That leads us to number 10. Running's easy. At some point, we figured out we had enough balance to make a move. When we were babies, the day came for us to run. one step turned to another, and before you know it, we were sprinting. We were on our way. There was a fearlessness in all of us, and I feel like we need to exercise that fearlessness, that ability to just go for things more and more, because the moment that we stop taking chances, we are done for. I myself can't really remember when I started running exactly, but what I do know is that when I started running, I probably fell a couple times until I realized that I had enough balance to go for it. And when I did, I went for it, took a chance. And I feel like nowadays we at times even get a little scared, at times get a little nervous about taking chances, and we need to remember that when we ran, we just did it without a worry, without a fear. We just went for it. And just like that, we need to continue to go for things that we want in life. So guys, yep, that was pretty much 10 things I learned as a baby. And before we leave, I've got one more for you. It's kind of more of a story than it is something I learned. But I remember one time when I did the talent show back in, I want to say it was elementary school. Me and two friends went up on stage and we were to perform Mockingbird by Eminem. The problem was that when we started up the song, and right when it started, I want to say 5-10 seconds in, my other two friends bounced and I was left on stage alone with all these cameras pointed at me and everyone staring.
Don't choke this time.
Thankfully, I was able to memorize half the song and perform half the song before I had to like dip out. Moral of the story is, guys, that keep doing what you love to do. For me, it's singing and dancing, and of course, video. But yeah, whatever you enjoy doing, definitely do more of it, because it will take you to a place of happiness. And yeah, guys, again, thank you so much for checking out the videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also, above all, keep making memories so that we can come back and remember them just like it was yesterday. Boom. Aha! Ain't no river wide to keep me from coming to you, baby.
We got 'em on ice, slide, skate, wait. Dang, they think they slick. New to me, think that they hot, but we got 'em on ice.